Hello everybody, it's your boy DometriousTheTitan, and I just have to say, is it just me, or does this whole next-gen launch not feel very next-gen? Today we're here to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and according to this article here, as usual, all of my sources will be in the description. It says here, has Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has been plagued with constant issues. It then goes on to talk about how both PlayStation 5 owners and Xbox Series X owners, when trying to download the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions of the game, would instead get the previous gen versions of the game, which would be PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And downloading those versions of the game, it would cause consistent issues, mostly causing these consoles themselves to crash. One Reddit user explained Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War would occasionally lead to their console crashing, but it then goes on to say that this Reddit user was able to simply reboot their console and they were good to go again until their console didn't turn back on. This Reddit user then goes on to say, my Cold War had been crashing my Xbox Series X a bunch over the weekend, but it was only every 4 or 5 games or so I just reboot my system and move on. Well, when it happened this morning, it was for good. My Xbox will not boot back up. This makes me think of where we are in the gaming community, and that's the fact that it feels a lot like these companies aren't really play testing all the way through, at the very least, their video games. And they're using the gaming community and the general public, the people who they're selling their games to, the people who are supposed to be, paying, $60 or so for a finished product. They're using us as like the testing people. Like, they release whatever it is that it's almost like they just make the game, don't play through it at all, throw it out, and then they just wait. And instead of playing through and checking all the bugs and glitches and errors that may be there in the system that they need to, in their games that they need to iron out, they just release it to the community, and we're the ones that play test it for them, and then we report back to them about, on Twitter or wherever else, complaining about bugs, glitches, and issues, and we spent $60 for nothing but problems and just have to wait for them to update the game whenever it is that they do so. So unfortunately, this whole article is dedicated to the fact that Xbox Series X owners have specifically through this one game, Call of Duty Black Ops, has been bricking systems. But then we move over to this other article here, again, source in the description, and it goes on about how PlayStation 5 owners are now getting their systems bricked just because of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. No other game is doing it. I'm not exactly certain how many PlayStation 5 owners this has affected. So far, it looks like it's only been this one person, but I may be wrong about that. So please just, look throughout the internet and let me know. And according to this Reddit user, well, it's official. Black Ops Cold War has officially bricked my PlayStation 5. Game has hard crashed the entire console. Only game that had been crashing for me on the PlayStation 5. Now when I turn it on, none of my games will load without crashing, and when games do start to load up, the screen fills up with flickering and glitching pixels before the console goes completely dead. Also, I am aware this is partially a console issue too. However, the only game that would crash my console was Black Ops Cold War. My console has been perfect until I started playing Cold War just 3 days ago. Since then, countless crashes while playing Cold War to the point of bricking my console. To all those giving troubleshoot options, it's much appreciated, and I hope others may get use out of them. However, for me, I have tried everything right down to a full factory reset and installing system software off a USB. If anyone wants any more information, just send a message. I'll be happy to help where I can. That is very nice of him to be able to try to help out others while trying to solve his own issue with Cold War. What is going on with next gen? He, like he said here, he is also aware that in part it also has to do with the console itself, and so it's a shame that this issue is happening for both consoles. Again, I'm tired of the gaming community being used as like we have to test your games for you after paying $60 for it and then give it back, but In that last article that I told you about, luckily the person who was able to get in contact with Sony, and Sony actually reached back out to them and explained the fact that it's only Black Ops Cold War that has been causing this issue. Call of Duty Cold War is alone in causing these consoles to brick. And luckily that user was able to send his PlayStation 5 in and get it replaced, but they obviously can't do that for everybody. So I really hope that there's some form of update that happens and Cold War from PC to Xbox to PlayStation 5 stops bricking consoles, and as we read in the article earlier, makes it so that like even before bricking, makes it so that like other games won't even load. So guys who made Call of Duty Cold War, get your shit together. Otherwise, you're gonna wind up with a class action lawsuit, because Sony just can't keep replacing PlayStation 5s because of your fuck up. Anyway, guys, this was a short one. I hope you enjoyed this video. And oh man, the more I read, the more I'm kind of happy that I wasn't able to get the PlayStation 5, because I worried that if I got one, I would have had to just let it sit, because I would be afraid to play any games, because there's just been a plethora of issues from the games to these new consoles themselves, or at least the PlayStation. I'm not really too certain about the Xbox, but anyway, yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops. You need to play through all of your games, and before releasing them. This goes to all of the these major companies that develop video games. You guys need to play through all of your games and before releasing the games to the public, before having to spend money on these things. Because a game crashing and waiting for an update, all right, that again, we've had that happen before. And like in the last article, they weren't too concerned about that. It would crash. They would just, boot it back up. But now it's bricking consoles and causing other games not to load. Get your shit together.